Dana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की, गौर प्रेमानंदे। Hare Krishna. Today we are going to discuss Bhagavad-gita as it is by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are going to discuss from chapter 4, titled Transcendental Knowledge, text 16. So the shloka or the verse goes as such. Kindly repeat after me. Kim karma, kim akarmeti, kim karma kim akarmeti, kavayopi atra mohitaha, kavayopyatra mohitaha, tatte karma pravakshyami yajñatva mokshase shubhat, यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्, किम कर्म किम अकर्मेति, कवयोप्यत्र मोहिताः, तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्, किम कर्म किम अकर्मेति, कवयोप्यत्र मोहिताः, तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्. Two Prabhujis and two Matajis, please.
किम कर्म किम अकर्मेति,
किम कर्म किम अकर्मेति,
कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहितः,
कवयोप्यत्र मोहिताः, तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्.
किम कर्म किम अकर्मेति,
किम कर्म किम अकर्मेति,
कवयोप्यत्र मोहिता,
कवयोप्यत्र मोहिताः, तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्. किम कर्म किम अकर्मेति, कवयोप्यत्र मोहिताः, तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्. किम कर्म किम अकर्मेति, कवयोप्यत्र मोहिताः, तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्. Synonyms: Kim, what is, karma, action, kim, what is, akarma, inaction, iti, thus, kavayaha, the intelligent, api, also, atra, in this matter, mohitaha, are bewildered, tat, that, te, unto you, karma, work, pravakshyami, I shall explain, yat, which, jnatva, knowing, mokshyase, you will be liberated, ashubhat, from ill fortune. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. Kindly repeat. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. Purport. Action in Krishna consciousness has to be executed in accord with the examples of previous bona fide devotees. This is recommended in the 15th verse. Why such action should not be independent will be explained in the text to follow. To act in Krishna consciousness, one has to follow the leadership of authorized persons who are in a line of disciplic succession as explained in the beginning of this chapter. The system of Krishna consciousness was first narrated to the Sun God. The Sun God explained it to his son Manu. Manu explained it to his son Ikshvaku, and the system is current on this earth from that very remote time. Therefore, one has to follow in the footsteps of previous authorities in the line of disciplic succession. Otherwise, even the most intelligent men will be bewildered regarding the standard actions of Krishna consciousness. For this reason, the Lord decided to instruct Arjuna in Krishna consciousness directly. Because of the direct instruction of the Lord to Arjuna, anyone who follows in the footsteps of Arjuna is certainly not bewildered. It is said that one cannot ascertain the ways of religion simply by imperfect experimental knowledge. Actually, the principles of religion can only be laid down by the Lord Himself. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3, Text 19. No one can manufacture a religious principle by imperfect speculation. One must follow in the footsteps of great authorities like Brahma, Shiva, Narada, Manu, the Kumaras, Kapila, Prahlada, Bhishma, Shukadeva Goswami, Yamaraja, Janaka, and Bali Maharaja. By mental speculation, one cannot ascertain what is religion or self-realization. Therefore, out of causeless mercy to his devotees, the Lord explains directly to Arjuna what action is and what inaction is. Only action performed in Krishna consciousness can deliver a person from the entanglement of material existence. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya-dāsa Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vācālam pangum langayate girim yat kripātamaham vande Shri Gurum Dīnatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. On behalf of all the devotees, I'd like to welcome all of you once again to our weekly Friday satsang. At the outset, I would like to present my ineptitude of conducting this magnanimous service that is awarded to me. I am not qualified to sit on this Vyasasana, but however, time and again, all of you wonderful personalities have, for my own purification, blessed me with such services so that I can sincerely study and dedicate at least a week of my time to this study of Srimad Bhagavad-gita Bhagavatam and immerse myself in the transcendental words of the previous acharyas and share whatever I have understood. So I would like to express my gratitude, at the same time my unqualification or misqualification. But for that I also seek your mercy and blessings so that I may conduct this service and speak the words in the right spirit, in the right mood, with the right meaning as delineated by the authorities in the bona fide parampara. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are discussing from Bhagavad-gita chapter 4, text number 16. What a beautiful verse. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshami yajñātva mokshase ashubhat. The translation: even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now this text and purport sound very heavy in philosophy, right? It's not very straightforward to understand the shloka itself. So in the shloka, Krishna is saying it is not very straightforward to understand what is karma and akarma. So to understand the shloka itself is complex. In the shloka, Krishna is saying to understand something else is complex. So how do we understand two complex phenomenon in one particular lecture? I thought the best way to understand this is through some stories and analogies. So today we will be discussing why people are in various circumstances of indecision. It is very, very interesting how the intricacies of decision impact all of our lives. Sometimes the most intelligent of men are bewildered as to what is the right course of action. In today's society, our so-called leaders are also failing time and time again in explaining and in guiding humanity unto the ultimate benefit. That is why we see that although many solutions are proposed by these so-called leaders, by these so-called intellectuals, by these so-called scientists, philosophers, etc., the solution again becomes a very, very complex problem going forward. Is it not true? Can you all think of some example where the solution became a bigger problem? Solution became bigger problem. COVID vaccine, Hari Bol. In general, modern medicine, I would not give a blanket statement, but in general, medicines itself come with a pamphlet. That pamphlet says these are the side effects of this particular medication. And if by the will of providence some side effect is there, to treat that we have to take one more medicine which has some more side effects. Is it not true? So this is the outcome of limited knowledge. Knowledge in itself is obtained through three sources. One is pratyaksha anumana, next is pratyaksha, anumana and shabda. So these are the three sources of truth, pramana. Pratyaksha pramana is source of truth that is obtained through the senses. We all know the famous example last week. Very nicely Prabhuji also explained the story of how the 5 blind men try to understand the elephant, right? I'll give you one funny example. When I was studying in engineering college, so I was in the hostel. In my next room, all my roommates and my friends in the next room were all discussing something. After some time, I heard loud noises coming from that room. I thought maybe there is something going on, so I just ignored it. After some time, the loud noises became arguments, fights and abuses against each other. I was wondering, they're all very thick friends. Why are they fighting with each other and arguing with each other? Let me go and find out what is going on. क्या हंगामा चल रहा है यहाँ पे? So we went and found out that actually they were not fighting with each other. They were only trying to do one drama practice. So that is how our senses and mind actually bewilder us from what is reality. Therefore, when we try to speculate or guess what is going on, that guess might be true, that guess might be false, but it is not a reliable source of truth. Similarly, our senses also bewilder us. From afar, we feel that it is a rope, but sometimes when we go closer, it might be a snake. That can be vice versa also. So many illusions are there, right? Many of us have spectacles, which means we cannot see clearly. So the senses are not a very perfect source of truth. So therefore, when we want to understand absolute truth, then our only source of shelter is scripture, which is Shabda Pramana. This Shabda Pramana is directly coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself in the disciplic succession. So this disciplic succession, as explained in this particular chapter, is originating from the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna Himself. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu. So let's understand how indecision comes and the intricacies of decision impact our lives. Very, very interesting. You see, all of these solutions that modern man proposes for humanity, Srila Prabhupada gives the example, are like the various zeros. No matter how many zeros are there, if the one doesn't exist, then a million zeros is still a big zero. It is worthless. Srila Prabhupada also gives this wonderful example that because modern humanity and society in today's age has many principles, many theories in place. Is it not true? But because of all of these theories not having a reconciling phenomenon, they don't have a central point of focus, which is God, Krishna. Therefore, all of them fail. Because they are all situated in relative truths, not on the absolute reality. Therefore, indecision is an outcome of not being situated on the absolute platform. In the Mahabharata, there is a wonderful narration. We all know the story of how in the gambling match between the Kauravas and Pandavas, the Pandavas have practically lost everything, including their wife Draupadi. And because of envy, the nature of envy is so burning, is so all-consuming, that the Kauravas wanted to completely destroy and annihilate the Pandavas to such an extent that they wanted to, so their own suffering is no longer their concern. They just want to see the suffering of the other party, Pandavas, and in their misery and suffering is their enjoyment. This kind of sadistic mentality is an outcome of absolute envy, which is all-consuming in nature. And because of this envious nature, they were succumbed to such heinous and outrageous acts that they were publicly disrobing Draupadi, who is a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, such kind of activity is unthinkable even in the modern times. But all-consuming envy drives a person into such madness that they are conducting or performing such abominable actions of disrobing and insulting a pure devotee of the Lord like Draupadi amidst all personalities. Now, in this particular situation, we can see Draupadi was appealing for help to Bhima. Now, Bhima is such a wonderful warrior. Single-handedly, he can finish off everybody in that assembly who were present there in that particular disrobing. Single-handedly. But because all the Pandavas were obedient to the word of their elder brother Yudhishthira, and because Yudhishthira, because of dharmic principles, prohibited all the Pandavas from doing anything, therefore Bhima, although he was enraged, he was red hot with anger, was burning. He wanted to help Draupadi, but he could not because he was bound by the instruction of his elder brother. You see how situation forces us to take some decisions. Here is a decision that Pandavas had to take where the outcome was positive, but the decision making process was compelling. This is the intricacy of decision making. Mother Draupadi approached Bhishma Dev. She told Bhishma Dev, I am like your daughter. Can you not rescue me from this atrocity of Dushasana? Bhishma Dev said, yes, my dear, you are like my daughter. But because I am bound by karmic principles to the Kauravas, therefore I am unable to rescue you. Is it not true that Bhishma Dev has studied all the scriptures? Is it not true that Bhishma Dev is the greatest warrior of his time? Is it not true that Bhishma Dev is the reservoir of all dharmic principles? Then why is such a personality like Bhishma Dev also subject to the intricacies of decision making? Therefore, taking a decision is very difficult. That too, the right decision at the right time in the right spirit is actually very complex and difficult, because externally circumstances, situations, things, etc. also bewilder us and they are also impacted. At the same time, internally our consciousness, mood, emotions, relationships are also impacted by the decisions that we are taking every day. So the intricacies of decision making are very, very, very complex. Even for a person who is very, very well adept and learned in the scriptural injunctions. Let us take one more example of one very nice pastime from Mahabharata again. Once what happened? Yudhishthir Maharaj was in a fight with Karna. And there was a very heavy battle going on between Yudhishthir Maharaj and Karna. And in this battle, obviously, Yudhishthir Maharaj was no match to Karna at all. And he was utterly defeated to the brink of death. But because Karna knew that Yudhishthir Maharaj was his brother, therefore he spared his life. And you know what Karna did? Karna took his bow and gave one punch on Yudhishthir Maharaj's head. He gave a big knock. And he said, "You are a rascal. You have no match and no comparison to me at all. You go and call Arjuna." Yudhishthir Maharaj was furious. He was enraged that because he was defeated by Karna. And then he went back, and this news of Yudhishthir Maharaj's injury and defeat reached Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna was very, very concerned for his brother, and he immediately requested Krishna to bring him to Yudhishthir Maharaj. And as soon as Krishna and Arjuna entered the chambers of Yudhishthir Maharaj was again fuming with anger. Yudhishthir Maharaj told Arjuna, "O great hero and warrior, O greatest archer of our times, you throw away your Gandiva because that Gandiva is useless and you are also useless." Why? Because after hearing the news of my defeat, I thought you will go and attack Karna and defeat our common enemy. But instead, you like a coward have come here to take refuge at your defeated brother. Like this, Yudhishthir Maharaj, because of anger, he spoke in this insulting way to Arjuna. Now Arjuna had taken a vow before that whoever insults my Gandiva and asks me to throw away my Gandiva, I will chop his head off. So therefore Arjuna was also very, very furious, and he drew his sword out and he said, "How dare you insult my Gandiva? I will chop your head off right away." And he wanted to jump and strike at Yudhishthir Maharaj, his own brother. And then Krishna intervened and he said, "Wait, Bhaiya, wait 1 minute. Hold on, take a breath. Hear what I have to say. If in spite of after hearing what I have to say, you still feel like striking your brother, then you can strike. Put your sword away." So then Arjuna puts his sword away. And then Krishna narrates a wonderful story of, you all know which story? Krishna narrates the story of a Brahmana. So there was a nice Brahmana called the Kaushika Brahmana in a village. This Brahmana was a very, very pious and very, very exalted Brahmana with all wonderful qualities. Yastasthi bhakti bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate sura harava bhaktasya kuto mahad guna manorathena asti dhavato bhai. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Yasyasti bhakti bhagavati akinchana. Akinchana bhakti, whoever is the pure devotee of the Lord, unalloyed pure devotional service, whoever is having in his heart, sarvais gunais tatra samasate sura. All the divine and heavenly qualities appear in that particular personality. Harava bhaktasya kuto mahad guna manorathena asti dhavato bhahi. Such person who has all wonderful qualities but he has no akinchana bhakti, what is the use of such particular person? Because this particular person is always carrying out the orders like a slave of his mind. Manorathena asti dhavato bhahi. He is always carrying out the instructions of his mind. So such a transcendental Brahmana, Kaushika Brahmana was there. All the villagers were considering him as a guru and used to come to him and seek his advice and counsel for many, many things. Now it so happened that this particular village was attacked constantly by dacoits and thieves. So one day, the head villager, the village head, he caught hold of one news that the dacoits are going to come and attack our village. So all the villagers, including the village head, packed up all of their belongings and went away into the mountain caves. But this Brahmana decided that he will stay back in his village. This Brahmana had one very, very good quality, that he always spoke the truth. This is one qualification or quality of a Brahmana, Satyam, right? So he always spoke the truth, never matter what, like Maharaj Harishchandra. So the dacoits came, they were right about to pillage and rampage the entire village. But they saw around, nothing is there, it's all empty. But there is one Brahmana who is sitting in complete samadhi, in dhyana of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Completely immersed in the thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his nectarian pastimes, this Brahmana was immersed in samadhi. At this particular moment, the dacoits came, placed a very, very shining, sharp sword at his neck and said, Haribol! Wake up! Where are all the food grains? Where are all the fruits and vegetables? Where are all the valuables of this village? Tell me right now, immediately, or I will chop off your head. Like that, the dacoits were threatening this Brahmana. Kaushika Brahmana, being a sadhu, was very, very calm in that particular moment. And he was contemplating on what response to give to these dacoits. Now, what response should he give? Should he tell that all the villagers have ran away with their possessions? Or should he not tell and give up his vow of speaking the truth? What do you all think? Should he speak the truth? Or should he not speak the truth? How many of you think he should speak the truth? But if he speaks the truth, then all these dacoits will go and rampage the villagers and kill all of them. So what to do now? Lie. But if he lies, then he will lose all of his Brahminical qualifications and all of his piety, which he has worked so hard from birth. So what to do? But if he sacrifices his life, that is also useless, because they will somehow or the other catch the villagers. Right? The intricacies of decision making. Although we feel ourselves to be very, very exemplary, we feel ourselves to be very, very qualified, but still the intricacies of decision making constantly impact our lives. Now this Brahmana, being a very learned person in the Vedic scriptures, had a very, very wonderful outcome for this particular scenario. He was calculating in his mind that if I speak the truth, then the dacoits will go and rampage all the villagers in the caves, kill all of them. And because of my speaking the truth, I have committed such a bigger sin, right? I have committed a bigger sin. But if I speak a lie, then only I will go and be condemned to hell. So for me, in future, hell is for sure written. But it is better that I get a limited period of hell with a smaller quota of papa. So he decided that I will speak lie, and he spoke lie. And that's how he saved all the villagers. And yes, obviously, after his lifetime, this Brahmana was condemned to hell. But he was very, very quickly relieved from that hell as well. At the same time, remember who is telling this story? Not Visvakalyana Gaura Das. My Dasas Prabhu, Lord Sri Krishna is telling. To whom? To Yudhishthira and Arjuna. Right? So in this way we can understand even Lord Shri Krishna himself appreciated the actions and the decisions of the Brahmana. This is the driving principle of decision making in our lives. That whatever the Lord appreciates, may that be our decision in life. Isn't it true? Now therefore, Krishna gave a wonderful resolution also to Arjuna. He says, for an elder, right, disrespecting an elder is far more worse than death. Therefore he tells Arjuna, you insult your brother. Then Arjuna speaks an insulting word, one particular word. Instead of saying, my dear respected brother, he says brother. And therefore he insults Yudhishthira Maharaj. But at that insult, Arjuna feels that because I have insulted my own brother, my life is worthless. Therefore I am going to give up my life. But then Yudhishthira Maharaj and Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna, both pacify Arjuna, and they also again save him from this conundrum. You see, time and time again, many times, Lord Shri Krishna intervenes in the lives of Pandavas and gives them the right direction, the right input, the right guidance, so that they may take the right course of action to what? To protect the principles of dharma. After all, that is why the Lord enacted this entire episode of the Kurukshetra war. Is it not true? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. This is the whole purpose of establishing dharma and uprooting adharma. Now, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Now we all understand how the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very important. Shabda Pramana means the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is spoken in scriptures like Srimad Bhagavad-gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. I want to narrate one more story. We have till 12:15, right, Prabhu? One more nice story to understand the intricacies of decision making. We all know the pastime of how Yudhishthira Maharaj, many things happened to Yudhishthira Maharaj also. On the deathbed, Bhishmadev instructed the principles of dharma to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Is it not true? Bhishmadev gave so many philosophical dimensions. He explained so many philosophies and siddhantas to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So many things he taught Yudhishthira Maharaj. But still, Yudhishthira Maharaj was not pacified. Because he was thinking how I could participate in this ghastly warfare of killing my own elders of the family, my own brothers, my own friends, relatives, etc. And after the war, Yudhishthira Maharaj was completely bewildered and perplexed as to what is the right course of action. Now, we can only imagine what the burden of this particular decision must have been for Yudhishthira Maharaj. Have we ever been responsible for a person's life and death? Maybe, perhaps, some of you in the medical field. But there also we are more or less instruments of activity. Is it not true? We are always depending on the will of providence. Yudhishthira Maharaj was completely perplexed as to what is the right course of action after this. Why did I participate in such ghastly warfare? He was completely bewildered and he was looking for counsel. And the Lord himself tried to pacify Yudhishthira Maharaj. Bhishmadev, after giving so many instructions, tried to pacify Yudhishthira Maharaj. So many instructions by so many personalities were given to pacify Yudhishthir Maharaj. But Yudhishthir Maharaj was not at all satisfied with any of these inputs. Then Arjuna came and told Yudhishthir Maharaj that, look, my dear brother, it is the desire of Lord Shri Krishna to establish dharma. It is the desire of Lord Shri Krishna to engage all of us in this warfare. It is the desire of Lord Shri Krishna that we be victorious in this particular battlefield. It is the desire of Lord Shri Krishna that all the Kauravas be annihilated from this earth and all adharma be uprooted from this planet. Therefore, it is our duty to act according to the desire of Lord Shri Krishna. When all decision-making process in our lives are centered around this root principle that whatever we decide may be pleasing to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then our decision-making principles will be absolutely perfect. This should be the guiding principle for all humanity at large. And how do we understand what is right and wrong? We understand what is right and wrong by studying the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavad-gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. At the same time, when we look at examples of personalities who have perfected their life by following in this particular path that is set by the Supreme Lord, then we are convinced even more. At the same time, when we have doubts in understanding these particular messages of the Supreme Lord, then we can seek guidance from such learned personalities. Therefore, Prabhupada has explained in this particular purport that to understand what action and inaction is, to understand the intricacies of decision making, to understand the complexities of dharma, we need to seek guidance of a bona fide spiritual master who is coming under an authoritative disciplic succession. In other words, a Vaishnava Parampara. This is the guiding principle of how we should empower ourselves with the right kind of intelligence. You see, a little bit philosophy we'll try to discuss now. The senses are coming in contact with the sense objects and therefore give sensory input to the mind. And the mind has three functions: thinking, feeling and willing. But the intelligence has two functions. What are the functions of intelligence? Discrimination and determination. Discrimination and determination in simple words means, I'll give you an example. The phone is ringing. The eyes are looking at the phone. The ears are looking at the ears are getting the ringtone. Is it not true? When this input, sensory input is going to the mind, then the mind understands, oh, phone is ringing. I have to lift this phone and speak to somebody. But the intelligence is trying to decide for the mind what to do. Whether to send the hand here, to put it near the ear, to speak the right words, to convey the emotions. All of this is the activity of the intelligence. Therefore, when the mind is bewildered on what to do, when the senses are overloaded with inputs from the material objects, then it is the responsibility and duty of the intelligence to give the right guidance and direction. Therefore, in this chapter titled Transcendental Knowledge, the Lord instructs Arjuna on how to enact oneself and conduct oneself on the absolute platform, which is called a karma. We know about three kinds of actions, right? Karma or sakarma, vikarma and akarma. Sakarma is actions in accordance with the scriptural injunctions and actions in accordance with nature's rules and regulations. Vikarma is doing something opposite to that. The problem with sakarma and vikarma is the outcomes of both of these activities are material in nature. So when you perform a material action, you get a material result. Therefore, to engage and enjoy that material result, we have to again take up another material body. And when you get a material body, you again perform sakarma, vikarma, etc. And this cycle of birth and death continues. So the Lord instructs Arjuna on how to perform a karma or bhakti yoga. To understand what is real dharma is to actually transform oneself into a pure loving devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. We all know about this verse. But to understand this in our day-to-day life, in our day-to-day decision making, is simply to understand, if I do this, will the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna be pleased with me? Although this is a very simple statement to present, it's very complex to understand. Why? Because our senses are imperfect and we ourselves are materially bound, bewildered living entities. I'm talking about myself. So, how do we seek the right guidance and input? We approach the bona fide spiritual master. How does this bona fide spiritual master instruct us, and where does he instruct us from? He instructs us from the scriptural injunctions, which is nothing but the heart and the mind and the desire of the Supreme Lord, which he reveals himself, or the pure devotees of the Lord also reveal to us. Dear devotees, when we speak of dharma, we often understand dharma as morality. We often understand dharma as right and wrong. We saw the example of the Brahmana, right? The Kaushika Brahmana. How he had to choose between lying and not lying. Right? Lying and not lying might be a moral decision, but to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead is our eternal constitutional position. So therefore, we should try to rise to the highest platform of dharma, which is our swadharma. It is innate, it is our original constitutional position. It is the nature of the spirit soul to act as the servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, all activities of our day-to-day life are supposed to be enacted as per the Varnashrama Dharma principles, which raise one to this platform of spirituality, on the platform of absolute truth. That is why Bhagavatam says, Atapumbi dvidashreshta varnashrama vibhagashaha swanushtitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. That is the driving principle, like we discussed, for our intricacies of decision making. If our activities, if our duties and responsibilities are pleasing to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very, very simple. Our role to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead is to simply please His pure devotees of the Lord. Because the Lord is most pleased when His devotees are worshipped and pleased. Is it not true? So therefore, the Lord in this particular scripture of Srimad Bhagavad-gita has taught us principles of surrender. We all know the concluding instruction of Srimad Bhagavad-gita. What is that? Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Sarva dharman parityajya. Give up all of your conceptions of morality and immorality, of right and wrong, of choosing between left and right, of applying your own intellect, and mam ekam sharanam vraja, completely surrender unto me. But you might ask a question that this is a very challenging and very heavy decision. This is a very big commitment to give up everything and to only surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then what will happen to me? What will happen to my day-to-day lives? What will happen to my day-to-day decision making and my results? Is it not true? We are afraid. Oh my God, if I do this, what will happen to me? Krishna is giving the assurance. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Do not worry. Like that Kalinga Brahmana, although he was suffering for a little bit in hell, but that suffering is external only. Internally, he was enjoying with blissful remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and after giving up his body, he went back home, back to Godhead to serve eternally as a part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So for us to achieve eternal benefit, we need to perform something called Bhagavata Dharma. So the Lord is impending us to surrender unto Him and to become His devotee. So the Bhagavad-gita conclusively gives us this instruction to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the amazing thing is, Arjuna, after listening to the entire Bhagavad-gita, 18 chapters, 700 slokas of Bhagavad-gita, does not say that, oh, I have understood the philosophies of Sankhya, Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. And Krishna, thank you so much for giving me such a wonderful class. I have understood all this philosophy. Now you can go back to Mathura. You can go back to Yadus. I will fight this war. Did Arjuna say that? What did Arjuna say? Nashto moha smritir labdha tvat prasadan mayachyuta stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna understood that whatever philosophical doubts might arise, Arjuna is asking questions. What is sannyasa? What is stita prajna? What is action? What is karma? What is vikarma? What is akarma? Philosophically, he is asking so many questions. And out of causeless mercy, Krishna is explaining all of these philosophies also. But after understanding all of these philosophies, Arjuna comes to one final conclusion. That whatever philosophy I understood, it doesn't matter. Finally, I have understood that I have to do what Krishna says. Karishye vachanam tava. Not karishye what I like to do. In fact, Krishna gave that opportunity also. What did Krishna say? Yathechasi tatha kuru. Do whatever you want. Arjuna said, no, I will do as you say. This doing as per the principles of the Lord is called Bhagavata Dharma. So Bhagavad-gita teaches us how to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us after surrendering how to engage oneself in the eternal religion of loving principles and devotional servitude to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmat saranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam. You might think how this kind of decision making, when it is pleasing to the Supreme Lord, right? With these intricacies, it might seem very challenging to our day-to-day lives. It might seem very, very difficult and painful in the temporary circumstances. But will it be ultimately beneficial for us? Here is the proof. That dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmat saranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam. Shivadam means all auspiciousness. Tapatraya unmulanam. It will uproot you from threefold miseries. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va parerishvaraha sadyo hridi avadudhyate atra kritibihi sushrushuvis takshanat. This is the benefit of Srimad Bhagavatam. And therefore, when one understands the principles of Bhagavad Dharma, then loving devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead awakens within our heart. And to teach these principles, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated the Yuga Dharma Harinama Sankirtan Yajna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the prescribed method of awakening God consciousness, of awakening spiritual realization for Kali Yuga. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan asti ekon mahaguna kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. This is the Yuga Dharma. And to teach this Yuga Dharma, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Kali Yuga around 550 years ago in Navadvip Dham, Mayapur. And he taught us by his own examples, Dharmam tu sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. The Lord gave us the Vedic injunctions and Bhagavad-gita. The devotees of the Lord gave us Srimad Bhagavatam. But the Lord himself came to teach us by his own example how one can lead his life by the principles of Bhagavad Dharma. And in this way, the Lord established the Sankirtan movement, and in this parampara of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, we see all of these magnanimous acharyas who are trying to spread that same message and uplift us from the threefold miseries of material existence. So we all would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who has very painstakingly given us this Bhagavad Gita as it is. You can see this Bhagavad Gita, right? We all discussed how Srila Prabhupada gave us Bhagavad Gita as it is. Srila Prabhupada first wrote Bhagavad Gita, the translations and purport in India when he was a Grihastha. But at that time, his family members were not very supportive and cooperative of his spiritual endeavors. And therefore, his own family members sold his manuscript, which he painstakingly wrote, for some tea powder. And then Srila Prabhupada gave up his householder life and took to the renunciate order of life. After that, Srila Prabhupada wrote Srimad Bhagavad-gita once again in Jhansi, and all of those manuscripts were stolen away. After that, Srila Prabhupada wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1 in volume 1, 2, 3, and took all of these books in a cargo ship, suffered 2 heart attacks, and reached New York. And in New York, Srila Prabhupada did not stay in 4 Point Sheraton. He did not stay in Marriott hotels. Where did he stay? Bowery. Bowery means Prabhuji also visited. You can explain, Prabhuji, how Bowery is? It's like slum area, literally. That kind of area, Srila Prabhupada tried to deliver the most fallen of the fallen. In that area, Srila Prabhupada has written Srimad Bhagavad-gita once again. That dictaphone tape recorder manuscript was stolen once again. Once again, Srila Prabhupada wrote Bhagavad-gita as it is. Macmillan Publications have published that book, but they've chopped off all of the important, intricate details responsible for awakening pure love of Godhead. And then Srila Prabhupada again established the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, again wrote Srimad Bhagavad-gita as it is, with word-to-word meaning, translation, purports. And then that particular book was translated into more than 100 languages and spread all over the world. On today's date, Srimad Bhagavad-gita is the third most read manuscript in the entire world. Number 1 and 2 are Bible and Quran. Today's date, many of the devotees and disciples and well-wishers are supporting and transforming their own lives by enacting in the principles of this Bhagavad Dharma, all because of the mercy of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We are very, 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 very indebted to him. Without him, we would not be here in this particular assembly. We would not have the titles of dasas and dasis and sit here conducting these satsangs and having these particular discourses. So we are all very, very, very indebted to Srila Prabhupada and the sincere followers who are here and who are giving opportunities to such fallen conditioned souls to discuss Srimad Bhagavad-gita. So I would like to thank you all so very much for giving me this opportunity. So whatever has been spoken, whatever you have understood as right, all these principles are, as I have explained, given in the bona fide Guru Shishya Parampara. Whatever defects, shortcomings, faults or mistakes are all mine. So I would like to beg forgiveness and offer my prostrated obeisances at your lotus feet. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srimad Bhagavad-gita Yathatadam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So at this juncture I would like to invite all of you, if you would like to add any comments, any questions, any comments.
There are a lot of new devotees.
Hare Krishna. So how many of you are here for the first time? Could you please raise your hands? First time? So if you could kindly, if you are sitting on a chair, it's okay. But if you are sitting, you could kindly stand up and say your name, which place you are from in India. Your name and which place you are from in India. Pritesha. Pritesha from Gujarat. Hare Krishna. Welcome, Prabhu. Mataji's Preeti Maharaj. Mataji from Gujarat. Durga Mataji. Sunila Mataji. Hare Krishna. From India. Thank you. Who else for the first time? Mataji's Hare Krishna. Name? Sujata Mataji. From Mumbai. Hare Krishna. Mataji? Name? Shakuntala Mataji. Hare Krishna. What name? Harika. Halka Mataji. Hare Krishna. Welcome. And my mother is also here. Hare Krishna. Mahalakshmi from Hyderabad. So I would like to express Hari Bol. We have a wonderful devotee from Sri Vrindavan Dham. Could you please stand up? You could see how from a young age he has transformed his life. Till now we heard theory, here is practical. Hari Bol. Thank you so much for inspiring us. At the same time, I thank all of you for coming here and giving us your association and encouraging us to study Srimad Bhagavad-gita week after week. At the same time, I would express my gratitude to all of the devotees assembled here week after week, again to support us, to teach us how to again surrender ourselves to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to spread this message to our near and dear friends as well. So thank you all so much for your attentive and patient listening. We'll take some questions or some comments if you have some. Any questions? Any comments? Hare Krishna. Question? Comment? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I think there are no little, it's an intricate philosophy. Anyhow, Prabhu very nicely explained with the stories how it's very difficult to take decision in our life. Sometimes after taking decision, we feel that we've taken wrong decision. So, but best solution is to take the guidance of the Lord through the Vaishnavas, through the pure devotees,
Correct.
Strengthening our intelligence. And Krishna says, Tasma Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanashmara Maya. So when we serve the Lord gives the intelligence to do what is right or wrong. He will guide. He is sitting inside as Paramatma. So He will guide based on our surrender to Him. So there is a lot of things explained about Him. There is a lot of analogies and the stories very nicely. It's very difficult slokas. Even coming slokas are in English. Because transcendental knowledge. But very nicely explained, Prabhu. Very enthusiastically, very inspirational.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So thank you for your giving this time, because in spite of your busy schedule, you have kids and to be very busy with so many activities. So thank you. Let's all thank Prabhuji for his wonderful service in enlightening us today and inspiring many people in Krishna consciousness. Prabhuji also takes classes in Telugu, especially in Abbasya, where a lot of Telugu devotees come. If there are Telugu devotees, you can contact Prabhuji also for further guidance. And let us thank Prabhuji for his service today by taking the shelter of the holy name, and to also pray for him and his family members and for the Julia Vaishnava as well. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna.